Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFall TV in association with Macklin's Gym. I'm about the press conference here for Whyte-Lewison, October 7th in Glasgow.
Banter levels.
Is that what you call it?
Jason Gavin banter. It was a bit blue, wasn't it?
It was a bit.
When you said to me it was a bit over, that actually, how bad that must have been for you to say that it was X-rated.
It was.
There was one line by Ian Lewinson which wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Which you'll be able to see yourself.
Because we'll cut it out and let people make up their own mind. We'll cut it out as a single clip, yeah, so people can...
Oh, right, okay. Wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
You're a whore for views, so...
You look really uncomfortable sat there in the middle.
Listen, when Dillian Whyte takes his watch off, yeah, and then stands up and says, we'll do it now, what do you want me to do? I mean, I'm stood between these two, and it's like, lads, right, now stop it. No, hang on. No, look. Oh, hold on. Let's do it on October 7th. No, well, hang on, you know. So, yeah, it weren't the best, but, you know. That's why I said for the head-to-head. I said, listen, you're going to be A for the head-to-head. Don't fuck up. Sorry, excuse my language. Don't mess around. We need this shot for the fight. And they behaved.
They did for that. Obviously, you got a week of this next week in Glasgow.
Great fight, though.
Yeah.
Good fight. You know, 2 blokes from Brixton who don't particularly like each other. 2 good fighters. 2 fighters that are in form. 2 fighters that are taking it seriously. 2 fighters that are going to try and knock each other clean out. That's what you want to see, isn't it?
And yeah, 2 Brixton heavyweights ending up in Glasgow.
Probably for the best, don't you think?
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. No, definitely for the best.
Possibly.
Definitely for the best.
Possibly. Obviously, Dylan was already on the bill before the Lewison fight was announced. Realistically, what were the options for October 7th?
An international fight. You know, the guys like Derek Rossi, you know, sort of middle-level guys who operated. We looked at Tava as well, so I don't want to put him in that same bracket, but he was one of the guys that we looked at. Fedosov, like these kind of guys. But I want Dylan to fight for the British heavyweight title. One, it's a great title, but 2, the heavyweight version, it's nice to be British heavyweight champion, isn't it? I remember, I think, the first time I remember watching Jess Harding, who was one of my dad's fighters, box Gary Mason at the Brentwood Centre, 1989, so I was 10. I knew Jess very well, he used to train at our house, and that was a British heavyweight title. And I knew how excited my dad was about that fight, how excited Jess Harding was. Didn't end that well for Jess Harding, got knocked out in the 2nd round. But it was a big fight, and the title, the British heavyweight title, is a title that all young heavyweights should try and win. And that's what, you know, AJ wanted to win that title a lot. And, you know, I think they're going to do everything they can to make sure they win it on October 7th.
Sometimes when you're doing your thing, you have a fight in mind, obviously for November, the November card in Whyte and Chisora, and then you get this sort of fight like this. Do you ever think,
Yeah, I mean, Chisora said, don't let him take the fight against Lewinson. Lewinson will knock him out. So there is the element of you could lose the Chisora-Whyte fight if you don't go Dylan's way. But we believe Dylan will win the fight. And listen, if he doesn't beat Ian Lewinson, maybe he doesn't deserve to fight Derek Chisora for the, you know. You can't, like... Fighters have got to be willing to take fights. I know I keep going on about this at the moment. There's too many guys who just expect to be paid for fights that no one wants to see. And the great thing about working with Dillian Whyte is you don't have to ask him. He's never turned down a fight that I've asked him to take, and I don't think he would, honestly. The only thing you've got to square up is the money. But you know, we make sure he's looked after, and then he don't turn fights down. I'm not saying that we're going to put fights to you that you can't win for terrible money, and you've just got to take it. That's how it is. But you've got to be willing to take the right fights. And we will move you on. You will get in those big fights. You will get in a great position. Because I'll tell you something now, fighters are going to be under more pressure than ever to take real fights because of how this market is right now. And do you know the winner is? You.
Fans.
The fans, that's what they are.
Yeah.
It's great news. That's really pissing me off. People saying, oh, you know, someone tweeted me yesterday and he said, don't you feel like you're putting these guys in too deep? You should remember that although they're world champions, British fighters just aren't that good. And it's like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll just find some nice, easy voluntaries for you. You'd love to watch that, wouldn't you? You know.
Jojo Dan too.
No, but he was talking about. All right, steady. He was talking about Brook Golovkin, Liam Smith against Canelo, Crawler against Linares. But look at all three guys. They've been, you know, had huge opportunities. I don't get the mentality sometimes. But I want to match my guys in the biggest fights possible for the biggest rewards. All that like.
I suppose
You know?
we spoke about this before. It's the kind of the opportunity comes along. You have to believe in your fight, and more importantly, they have to believe that they can win the fight, regardless of whether it's Golovkin, Linares.
I'm not just looking to make
Canelo.
fights.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of money. Oh, he can't win that fight. Stick him in that. But when there's a fight, I believe you will win. Certainly a fight you're a favourite for, and of course, again, the deal has to be right. You've got to be willing to take these chances and opportunities in this sport. Otherwise, you're not going to be progressed. There's too much competition. There's too many fighters that are willing to take it, and almost too many that aren't. And if you don't, someone else will. So if you believe in yourself and your team believe in themselves, and I believe you'll be matched properly, you've got to take these fights. You've got to. Because I'm not prepared to take the stick, put in a fight on no one wants to see.
How's Anthony Qualler?
He's all right. I spoke to him on Sunday. I said, how are you feeling? He said, like, I've been hit by a bus. He said, I watched the fight back. Very tough fight. General feeling, I think, was that Linares nicked it by a couple of rounds. Great fight. Wonderful performance from Jorge Linares. What a fighter. Great atmosphere. You know, just get ready now for the rematch. Prepare.
What's his name? WBC Mush. Richard Suleiman. His tweet yesterday.
Linares versus Latikani next.
Yeah,
that's what they'll order.
Yeah.
And we have a rematch, of course.
Okay.
So he'll fight Andy Crawler next. Whether it's for the WBC Diamond as well, if they'll allow that, or if it's just the WBA Super title, it's fine.
So, in order for that fight to happen, Linares, the Zlatikanin fight for Linares, he'd have to...
Zlatikanin, by the way, is fighting Mikey Garcia.
Right.
And that's later this year. So, you know, there's a lot of things that can happen, but
he would have to vacate that diamond belt in order to do that.
if he has to,
Yeah.
hopefully the WBC turn around and say, no, it's a great fight, great rematch. Let's do it again. I mean, Gilberto Mendoza says he's ordering a rematch anyway for the WBA. So...
Okay. I've been looking at your Twitter over the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Some comments you made regarding Tyson Fury, people picked up on.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Just really, you explained exactly what you meant by what you said.
People ask me about, it's a very sensitive situation, obviously, and before I go into this, and I'll do my best to explain my thoughts on it, which might come out good or bad, but I'm just going to tell you what's on my mind anyway. We all hope Tyson Fury recovers as soon as possible. I want him in the ring. You know, from a selfish point of view and from a point of view of he's achieved a huge amount. I'd like to see him defend the world heavyweight title. But what I'm saying is that when he won the title, I don't believe he was able to cope with the pressures. And, you know, he said things, he did things that maybe he shouldn't have or whatever. It's all history. But I said that's when his team have got to get hold of him and say, listen. And that's where I said the slack thing. It was a figure of speech. Get yourself together, pull yourself together, switch on. You've just won the world heavyweight title. Let's make the most of this now. Let's move on. Let's defend it, etc., etc. Everything's unravelled to a point where he now needs help. Okay? So sometimes And you know, it's not a case of pointing a finger at anyone. But there's been times with our fighters where I've seen them starting to unravel a little bit, where I can see they're doing things where they shouldn't be doing. And I've had to go up there, drive up to their house, speak to them at all hours of the morning and say, you've got a hell of an opportunity, do not mess it up. So I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. But I can't tell you about Tyson Fury's situation because I obviously don't know enough about it. All I do know is I hope he gets well soon and I hope he returns to the ring as soon as possible. What I also said was, which people didn't like, is this is a business and the boxing world's going to move on. I'm sorry. Again, do you want me to lie and tell you that the
Not
government...
a little bit insensitive?
I'm just telling the truth.
I know. But just in the current situation...
I like Tyson. I think Tyson Fury is a good man and a good fighter. I don't want to see him ill. I want to see him good. I want to see him fighting. But I'm just telling you what's going to happen. Do you think the governing body are going to turn around and say, no, understand, he hasn't boxed for 12 months or 11 months. Take as long as you need and the belts will just stay there. It doesn't, that's not reality. I'm just giving you reality. You know, you're not asking me what I think they should do. I'm just telling you what they will do. And that's what they will do. They've had enough. They want their belts to be active. And I said the same thing. They want their sanction fees. Every time that world heavyweight title is contested for, it might be worth, I don't know, $150,000 for the governing body. Normally they'd want that to happen 2, maybe 3 times a year. How many times does it happen in a year? What do you think they're thinking? Come on. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you how it is. It's unfortunate. No one wants it to happen. Everyone wants to see Tyson Fury in the ring. He's not. They'll just move on. And someone is going to fight Vladimir Klitschko for the titles. So why shouldn't that someone be Anthony Joshua?
Things have developed since yesterday morning, have they, or not?
I met AJ this morning. We sat down, we had a talk with the training team. I've had a couple of conversations with Bernd Bonte. They've got their own mess to sort out. And the message from AJ and the team is clear. If the deal is right, if it's for the Unified Heavyweight World Championship.
Does it matter how many of them?
No, not really.
No.
I mean, I don't think, the thing is the reason I say that is because Klitschko is not going to want to relinquish his position for his old belts and become a voluntary challenger for the IBF title. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not just us that want it for a unified title, it's Klitschko will want to fight for his belts. Because I think, who else? I mean, they could make Klitschko against Lucas Brown. That's the WBA version. And then the WBO and the IBO have got to make their decision. So...
You're talking about for the WBA Super?
Yeah.
So, out of all the belts that are more likely, if it was to happen, come online, it would be the WBA, in your opinion?
Or the WBO, or the... That's for them to deal with. I'm certainly not getting onto the governing bodies now. We haven't even got a deal. So we don't need to ask any governing body yet anything. They're dealing with that. They might come back to governing bodies and say, no, Tyson Fury
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to test the hotel fire alarms.
Oh, that's going to be good.
This is a test. Do not take any actions. This is a test.
You were saying?
Okay, we're going to get interrupted by fire. I've forgotten what's saying. So they're going to be speaking to the governing bodies. That's not our business. And by the way, every ranked fighter is going to be speaking to the governing bodies to find out, are they the mandatory? Can they get a shot? And again, people say, oh, call them piranhas, call them vultures. It's business. And again, sorry if it's not compassionate, but I'm just telling you what's going on. Business is not compassionate, right? We've got hearts. I've got a heart. Is that real?
No. He just went, I've got a heart, and he went, beep.
Yeah.
Attention. We're investigating an alarm in another part of the
Just said it.
building. If further action becomes
Okay.
necessary, you will
So
be informed
again,
immediately.
I'm just telling you what is going on in the boxing world and what will happen.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think, I don't know, when you're reading stuff, when I'm listening to you talk, I know what you mean. You don't mean anything
If further
sort of
action
negative
is
towards
necessary,
anything, but I suppose
you will be
when people are
informed
hearing stuff
immediately.
like with the current situation,
There is no
what
cause
we
for
understand
alarm.
about Tyson Fury,
Please remain in
and
your
then hear
area.
comments like, well, boxing is a business at the end of the day. It just
Yeah,
looks
I
a
know.
bit
Yeah,
uncompassionate.
maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't say what everyone else is thinking and what everybody else, what everyone else thinks. But I'm, I can't.
That concludes the
Thank
test
you
of
very
our
much.
fire
Thank you very
alarm
much.
system.
I can't tell you.
All future alarms must be treated normally.
Thank you.
We apologise for any inconvenience caused. Thank you.
Again, I like Tyson Fury. I like Peter Fury. This is unfortunate. I hope he gets the treatment he needs. I hope he gets better. I hope he returns to boxing as soon as possible. That's the truth. But I can't ignore what is going on in, and not even my business, in the business. Because if you sit still, you're going to get run over. Simple as that. And I can't sit still for my clients, not just AJ, but everybody. I've got to do my job. I've got to work for people. And again, different events mean different opportunities. And I'm not just talking about this. Sometimes someone happens, someone will get injured, another belt will become vacant, an opportunity arises, someone gets beat. It's a constant manoeuvre. And this is just another piece of the drama for the heavyweight division that has just been mental over the last 12 months.
In regards to Joseph Parker, I know he's fighting this week, but it seems like with all this going on regarding is he fighting Joshua, is he not, is he on the bill, is he not on the bill, is he just kind of just waiting around, waiting for you
No,
to...
I'm speaking to their team a lot. He fights on Saturday night. Again, Parker is a real option for November 26th. It's a great fight. Might even be more difficult than Klitschko. Who knows? But, we're keeping everybody up to speed. But this has thrown a real spanner in the works. We did our interview the other day, and I said I don't think the Klitschko Fury fight will happen. Right?
Yeah.
That was Wednesday, something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone said, "How did you know that?" There was hardly one person in boxing that wasn't saying that Klitschko Fury won't happen. It was just me that said it. No one else wanted to say it. I just said it to you. And everyone said, "How did you know that?" It wasn't a secret. So, this is all just come out of nowhere. Is it Parker? Is it Klitschko? The answer is I can't tell you because there's a lot that's got to unfold over 48.
So who does Joshua want ideally?
Klitschko. He likes that fight. He wants that fight. But again, it's Joshua's mentality is if that's the deal, if that's the right deal, if that's the right fight, I'm happy with that fight. Yeah, he's very relaxed. He leaves it to us, to his team, to advise him on if that's the right fight. From a boxing sense, he's happy to take that fight.
Are you set in stone for the 26th in Manchester or not necessarily?
Good question. It's a good question. You can't help think it deserves a bigger venue, but we've been on to the Millennium Stadium. We tried to go there originally, and they said no because they had another event. Will they open that up for us for Klitschko, Joshua?
Joshua.
It kind of feels like 21,000's a bit of a
criminal.
waste.
It is
I know,
waste.
but what's the options? You tell me. We drive down Millennium Stadium now and have a word.
Well, if it'll help.
No, but again, it's all very well saying, "Oh,
What-
you can't do it there." It's only okay. Give me some other options, and we'll look at them. Don't say Wembley's got a roof. Anyone watching this, because it hasn't. Do it at Wembley. You can't in the winter. Well, it's got a roof. It hasn't.
So, still talking with Millennium?
I have got in touch with him, yeah, and said, "Are you sure about this?"
Told him obviously the fight.
Yeah.
Seems a very short space of time if you want to announce this week. You probably won't, will you?
No, probably not announced this week. Oh, well, I think he can move at decent pace. I do.
By Friday though, really?
Maybe not. I've learned. I've never learned because I always try and give you a date when we're announced because people ask all the time, and then when you go over it, it's a criminal offence. So
say within the week.
I hope that by the end of the week we'll be able to give you some news.
But can we narrow it down to Klitschko or Parker? Yes.
You can never narrow it down. I tell you those two are the most likely opponents for Anthony Joshua in 16, sorry.
Okay. Any other bit of news? You're going... Oh, well, no, we're going to Birmingham tomorrow.
Birmingham tomorrow.
Yep.
Berlin on Wednesday.
Your
Show
call.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday, weigh-in for Berlin, well, Cleverly Bramer, and then out for Cleverly Bramer Saturday night.
O'Hara Davis has been
Added
added
to the bill, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, international fight as well, coming to Sky on the same night that we're going to be putting into the show. We'll announce tomorrow or Wednesday.
Are we assuming it to be Parker?
It could be. That would make sense.
That does make sense. We'll have to wait and see. All right. See you in Birmingham tomorrow.
We'll do, old boy.
Thank you very much.